Welcome back, everybody. We've got tons of great listener questions this week, and we're going to tackle one that really stood out.
Yeah.
About the newest episode of From.
Mm-hmm.
So many of you wrote in asking about Fatima.
Oh, yeah.
And what is going on with her pregnancy, or I guess I should say what we thought was her pregnancy. I mean, the writers really took things to a whole other level of creepy.
Definitely. I think anyone who hasn't seen the show yet needs like a super quick rundown from.
Of course.
Is this amazing psychological horror show that basically traps anyone who enters this mysterious town.
Right. And once you're in, there's no escaping.
And then you have to deal with these terrifying creatures that emerge at night. And oh my gosh, the psychological torment is
a lot.
Next level.
And we can't forget about the creepy music box.
Oh yeah, the music box.
But okay, focusing on this episode in particular, it feels like a major turning point for some of our main characters.
Totally.
Especially Fatima.
Oh, absolutely. The episode starts with her getting an ultrasound.
Oh, right.
And
I was on the edge of my seat.
Same.
Totally thought we were going to see a heartbeat.
I know, right? But then
nothing. There's absolutely nothing on the screen.
That was such a curveball.
I know. And it's so weird because Fatima has all these classic signs of pregnancy.
Yeah, she's got morning sickness, a growing belly.
It's like they're playing with us.
Right.
Giving us this classic pregnancy setup.
Right.
And then just yanking the rug out from under us.
It's unsettling in like a really profound way.
Exactly. And it taps into one of the show's big themes, right? That whole question of what is real.
Oh, totally.
So is Fatima really pregnant? Or is the town doing something to her mind? Or maybe even scarier.
Ooh, okay.
Is she carrying something that's like,
oh gosh,
not even human?
Okay. That is a thought that I did not need in my head right now.
Sorry.
Okay. No, it's okay. I mean, it's the show's fault, really.
Right.
For being so good at freaking us out. True. We've already seen how this town distorts reality. I mean,
oh yeah.
Remember Boyd's hallucination?
Ugh, with the bus?
Yes. The bus burrowing under his skin.
It was so disturbing.
If that's what the town can do to your mind,
right?
I don't even want to imagine what it could do to a developing, whatever it is Fatima might be carrying.
It's terrifying. And it makes you think, what are the town's motives here? Is Fatima being targeted on purpose?
Oh, that's a good question.
Or is this just like a side effect of how messed up this town is?
I don't know. But speaking of messed up, let's talk about Tabitha.
Oh, yes.
Her dreams. Those recurring nightmares she keeps having with the creepy homestead.
The mannequins.
The red rocks.
It feels like those dreams are becoming more and more important.
Absolutely. And this episode dives into Jim's fear about Tabitha's connection to the town.
Okay, yeah.
It's like he thinks her connection is dangerous, you know?
Right.
Maybe even like it was meant to be.
Oh, wow.
He even says her childhood dreams might have brought her here.
What?
Yeah. Like, he really thinks her fate is tied to this town, which is
super scary.
Incredibly scary.
Like, does anyone in this town actually have free will?
It makes you wonder.
Right. Makes me think about my own dreams.
Uh-oh.
Like, what if my weird dreams are leading me somewhere I don't want to go?
Oh, no.
It's a rabbit hole I do not want to fall down.
I hear that.
But, okay, even with all this creepy stuff, the show still gives us these little moments of connection and hope.
Right. Like Julie and Randall.
Yeah.
Their relationship is really starting to blossom.
It's almost sweet.
Right. Who would have thought that a joyride in a stolen emergency vehicle could be so heartwarming?
Yeah. But of course, this is From. So even the nice moments can't last too long.
Right. And poor Randall, his terrifying locust hallucinations come back.
Oh, no.
And he jumps out of the vehicle in a total panic.
Oh, man, those hallucinations.
I know.
It's like they represent how invasive the town is. They can just cock up anywhere.
Anywhere, anytime.
And shatter any feeling of peace or normalcy.
Totally. But it's what happens next that I found super interesting.
Okay, what's that?
They stumble across these ruins.
Hold on. The ruins?
The ones where they were found like in a coma at the beginning of the series?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
The ones with the creepy music box?
You think that's significant?
It feels significant.
I'm with you on that one. It's like the town is leading them back there.
Like it's trying to show them something.
Right. Trying to give them a piece of the puzzle.
Maybe their connection to those ruins is tied to how they ended up in the town in the first place.
Whoa. That's a thought.
It suggests they're not just random victims, right?
Yeah.
They're somehow linked to the origins of this whole messed up town.
Okay, so we've got origins. And speaking of origins, we also see Elgin in this episode.
Oh, yeah.
Going back and forth between making this crib mobile for Fatima's baby, which I know.
It's a pretty creepy image considering what we now know about Fatima's situation.
So creepy.
Yeah.
But then Elgin gets distracted by that mysterious camera.
Oh, right, the camera.
The one he found earlier.
Yeah.
And that camera leaves him like a trail of breadcrumbs to those bunker doors.
Oh, yeah, the bunker doors. They've been teasing those since season 1.
I know.
Yeah.
And behind those doors, Elgin finds a hidden room.
Ooh.
I don't want to spoil it for anyone.
Right.
But let's just say.
Okay.
It's a pretty grim discovery.
It's definitely one of those things that stays with you.
Yeah. And then Elgin asks the kimono lady this really chilling question.
Which is
this really what happens?
Or,
It's like he's staring into the abyss,
Right.
seeing what might happen to everyone trapped in this town.
oh, gosh.
And it is terrifying.
It's a punch to the gut for sure.
Totally.
It reminds us that this town isn't just playing mind games. It's capable of something way more sinister.
Oh, yeah. Wait.
Yeah.
Man, that discovery in the bunker, it really sets the tone for the rest of the episode.
Yeah, it's like this shadow has fallen over everything.
Right.
This feeling of impending doom.
Totally.
And it's hanging over like all the characters.
Yeah.
But especially Fatima.
Oh, absolutely. Her situation takes a seriously dark turn.
It's rough.
We see her mental and physical condition just deteriorating.
It's so sad.
And she starts craving things that are,
yeah.
in her words, less alive.
Which is disturbing.
Yeah, it's pretty disturbing.
And she's rejecting any kind of nourishment from the RV.
It's like whatever is happening to her, it's consuming her from the inside.
Yeah, and then there's that scene with her stomach.
Oh, gosh.
The scene where it caves inwards.
It's so unsettling. That's such a disturbing image.
It really shows how far the show is willing to go with the horror.
It's not just like gross out horror either.
Right.
It's psychological.
Yeah, you can see the fear in Fatima's eyes.
And it makes you wonder if what's happening to her is like a physical manifestation of the psychological torment.
That's a good point.
The show is so good at blurring those lines between the physical and the psychological.
Right.
It's like we're always questioning what's real and what's not.
Exactly, and that's what makes it so compelling.
Totally agree.
And poor Ellis.
Yeah.
He's trying so hard to figure out how to help her.
He's desperate for a solution.
I mean, he even tries to get medication from the hospital.
Oh, right. Like he thinks she's having a psychotic break.
Yeah, something like that.
But then Christy warns him that medication could actually make things worse.
Oh, no.
It's a good reminder that what they're dealing with, it's beyond anything that modern medicine can explain.
Right. They're in uncharted territory.
It's scary stuff.
Totally. And then there's Tilly.
How?
Trying to comfort Fatima.
She's such a kind soul.
But Fatima is so overwhelmed
She is.
that she lashes out.
Oh, it's so sad.
Tilly's death is just devastating.
It's a reminder that no one is safe in this town.
Right.
It makes you wonder about the town itself.
Yeah.
Is it evil? Is it playing some kind of twisted game?
Or is it just indifferent to their suffering?
I don't know, but it's heartbreaking.
That final scene with Tilly
Yeah.
urging Ellis and Fatima to run away
As she's dying,
is brutal.
it really shows her selflessness.
Even in the face of death.
It's also a reminder that even in the darkest moments,
Yeah.
human connection and compassion can still shine through.
A glimmer of hope.
Exactly.
But that hope seems so fragile.
Yeah, especially when you consider what's happening with Tabitha.
Oh, right, Tabitha. Those dreams.
She goes back to that homestead.
with the mannequins.
The Red Rocks.
She thinks she'll find answers there.
And Jim goes with her.
He does,
He does.
even though he doesn't want to.
Yeah, it's like he's accepted that some things are beyond their control.
Oh, wow.
This sense of resignation.
Yeah, it's almost as unsettling as the horror itself.
And then he says that Tabitha's childhood dreams might have sealed her fate.
That's heavy.
It makes you think about free will versus destiny.
Right.
About the nature of reality itself.
It's definitely more than just your typical horror show.
Oh, yeah.
And we see that same struggle with Acosta,
The newcomer.
right? She's still trying to adjust to the town's rules.
She's clashing with Boyd.
Who's at the old guard?
Yeah, the one who's accepted the town's twisted reality.
And Acosta represents those who are still resisting.
Those who are fighting against the darkness.
even when it seems impossible.
Exactly.
And then there's Victor,
Oh, Victor.
spiraling deeper into his obsession with that creepy doll.
It's like he's losing himself.
Mm.
And it reminds us that the town preys on the vulnerable.
Right.
It exploits their fears.
And weaknesses.
It also shows the generational divide in the town.
Okay, how so?
Victor represents the younger generation, the ones still dealing with the trauma.
Right.
And his father, Henry, represents the older generation,
Yeah.
the ones who have become numb to the horror.
So they've shut down.
Yeah, to survive.
It's like they've lost their hope.
And that's scary in its own way.
It is. It reminds us that the real horror of this town
Mhm.
isn't just the monsters or the psychological torment.
It's something deeper.
It's the potential to lose your humanity.
That's a chilling thought.
And it brings us back to Julie and Randall,
Yeah.
who are still battling their own demons,
Even with their connection.
right? Those locust hallucinations.
There we keep coming back.
It's like the town is saying, don't get too comfortable.
Right. I'm always watching.
Yeah.
I'm always here.
And then they find those ruins.
Oh my gosh, the room.
The same ones where they were found in a coma.
It's like a subconscious pull.
Yeah, like their minds are drawn to this place,
Maybe even their souls.
even though they don't know why.
It suggests a deeper connection
Between
them and the town's mysteries.
Right.
Like they're being drawn back to the source of their trauma,
Oh, wow.
forced to confront the darkness.
A confrontation they might not be ready for.
Yeah.
And speaking of confrontations,
Yeah.
Elgin and that skeletal corpse.
Oh, man.
That is a stark reminder of how deadly this town can be.
It's a visual representation of the town's power.
Its ability to just end a life.
And it raises so many questions.
Yeah, like who was that person?
How did they die?
Is that the fate that awaits everyone trapped there?
Ugh, it's terrifying.
This episode was a lot.
It was.
It leaves us with so many questions.
And a growing sense of dread.
I have a feeling the answers
We get them.
are going to be even more terrifying than we can imagine.
Oh, I bet.
Wow, this episode was like a total roller coaster.
It really was.
Fatim's ordeal, Tabitha's dreams.
Elgin in that bunker.
It's like the writers are just peeling back the layers of this town's mystery
Uh-huh.
and revealing something darker and more unsettling every single time.
That's a good way to put it.
Right, like we're being drawn deeper into this abyss.
Yeah,
And the ground beneath us is getting less and less stable.
totally. And it makes you wonder, is there any hope for these characters?
Right, are they all just doomed?
Are they going to succumb to the darkness?
Or is there a chance they can break free from this nightmare?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah, free will versus fate.
Can they change their destinies?
Or are they just puppets?
In some cosmic game they don't even understand.
And the episode title, These Fragile Lives,
Ooh, yeah.
it just hits so differently now.
It really does.
But highlights how vulnerable they are
Their struggle to stay sane.
to hold on to their humanity
Yeah.
in the face of all this horror.
And it's not just the external threats either. It's
What?
the internal ones too.
Fear, paranoia.
The town feeds on those emotions.
Yeah, it's like those emotions become weapons.
Weapons that can be used against them.
Like Fatima craving those things less alive.
Right. What is that all about?
Is it the town's influence?
Corrupting her from the inside out?
Or is it psychological?
A response to the trauma?
I don't know, but that ambiguity,
Mhm.
it's what makes the show so brilliant.
It keeps us guessing.
Keeps us on the edge of our
It's
seats.
questioning what's real and what's not.
Yeah, and it makes us think about our own minds.
Right. How fragile are we?
It's like the show is holding up a mirror.
Asking us, what would you do?
How would you handle the constant fear?
The isolation?
The feeling that you're losing control?
There are no easy answers.
Some characters like Boyd,
Yeah.
they seem resigned to their fate.
They've built walls around themselves.
Shut down their emotions.
Accepted the town's twisted reality as their new normal.
But then you have characters like Acosta.
Oh, yeah. Acosta.
She's still fighting back.
She wants out.
Even if it means challenging everything and everyone.
She's a flicker of hope.
Yeah, she refuses to give up.
Even when surrounded by darkness.
That's what makes her so compelling.
I agree.
She reminds us that even in the darkest places,
Mhm.
there can still be defiance.
A spark that refuses to die.
And maybe that spark
Yeah,
is
man.
all it takes to find the way out.
You know, it makes you wonder if the ones who fight back, the ones who question and challenge,
The ones who don't accept things as they are.
maybe they're the ones who hold the key
The key to what?
to the town's secrets,
Oh, wow.
to breaking free.
But until then, we're just left with this feeling.
This feeling of dread.
Like something terrible is coming.
And we're just waiting to see who survives.
Who falls victim?
And what fate has in store for them all.
So much to think about.
Yeah, so much to unpack.
But for now, I think we'll leave it there.
Okay.
This deep dive has been a wild ride.
It has.
But we'll be back next week with another episode of From.
And more listener questions.
Until then, keep those theories coming.
And try to stay out of any mysterious towns.
Yeah, good advice.
Stay safe, everyone.
And thanks for listening.